Growing up, people used to call me the Energizer Bunny because I could just keep going and going and going. And that helped me get into Stanford, earn 2 engineering degrees, and start a career in green infrastructure. My boundless energy served me really well, until one day it didn't. Because it turns out the Energizer Bunny has a dirty little secret. Eventually, its battery does run out. And the same is true for the environment and us, though we sure don't act like it. Instead, we keep on using and using and using resources and energy from people and the planet with no respect for boundaries or our need for rest. It's no wonder that we're experiencing a climate and mental health crisis at the same time. That is no coincidence. Those are 2 sides of the same coin. The Earth is burning out, and so are we. But unlike the Energizer Bunny, we don't have a spare battery lying around. That's why if we're serious about solving the climate crisis, we have to prioritize our collective mental health. And nobody knows this better than Generation Z. In 2019, 1.6 million of them from over 125 countries skipped school to protest climate change. That is legendary. It's also sad because it's a reminder they're inheriting a climate near collapse. Things are so bad that according to the UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, we only have until 2050 to stop using fossil fuels altogether. That means we have to transform every single bit of our built environment, from the way we clean the water in your faucet, to the way we produce electricity from your switches, to the transportation you use to get around. Systems that took us over 200 years to build, and we have to flip them in less than 30. Pause. What's your breath doing right now? Take a deep inhale and slowly exhale. Notice how you feel. Now there's good news. From an engineering perspective, we have the technology to get the problem solved. From a mental health perspective, it's a different story. Cue the sobering statistics. In 2019, the Imagine America Foundation surveyed 20 million US college students, and here's what they found. 84% of them were burnt out. 42% of them were so depressed they were finding it hard to function. And 12% had seriously considered suicide. The rest of us are struggling right along with them. According to the CDC, between 2015 and 2017, the US life expectancy dropped. That's the first time it's done that since World War I. The cause? An increase in deaths due to despair, which means suicides, drug overdoses, and alcohol-related liver disease. Adding insult to injury, a 2015 study by Stanford professor Jeffrey Pfeffer found that 120,000 US deaths each year can be attributed to workplace stress, which at the time made it the number 6 cause of death. Before you go thinking this is just a US problem, let's jump over to the UK. According to the National Statistics and the Health and Safety Executive, in a 12-month period between 2019 and 2020, the entire UK labor force lost a cumulative 17.9 million days of work due to stress, anxiety, and depression. And according to the World Health Organization, at least 264 million people across the globe suffer from depression. This was the state of our mental health before COVID-19 ever began. And this is how well we, the people charged with solving climate change, are not doing. Pause again. What's going on in your body? Take your arms out to the side. Now really do this with me, okay? And bring them up like you're doing a jumping jack for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Notice how you feel now. But what is climate change and what is burnout, and since when do they have anything to do with each other? Well, at their core, climate change and burnout are stress responses. They're attempts by the planet and your body to find balance. Here's what that looks like for Earth. When we burn fossil fuels, we release carbon dioxide up into the atmosphere. And carbon dioxide is like the best NFL wide receiver you have never heard of. It is excellent at making interceptions. Trouble is, what it's great at intercepting is heat and energy that the Earth is literally trying to release into outer space so she can cool off. But she can't. And instead we get global warming, which stresses out the climate. That's why in places like Australia and California, we have extreme heat driving mega droughts and mega wildfires. It's also what's causing extreme rainfall and rising sea levels that's putting infrastructure and drinking water at risk at island nations like Palau. And because we aren't separate from the Earth, we are a part of her. What we do to the Earth, we do to ourselves. And what we do to ourselves, we do to the Earth. So for humans, burnout looks a lot like losing motivation, productivity, energy, and mental health. All things that come in handy when trying to solve climate change. And an experience I am intimately familiar with. See, at the age of 14, this Energizer Bunny went into hyperdrive around college prep. I loaded up on all the AP classes, extracurriculars, and volunteering, played 2 sports, pulled regular all-nighters to get everything done. And I got into excellent schools. I also got sick every year. Lost so much weight that I had to stop playing the sports that I loved and was exhausted all the time. And things didn't get better when I got into college. At one point, senior year at Stanford, I was so depressed and anxious that I couldn't get off my parents' couch for weeks. I was officially burnt out. Just like the Earth, my energy balance was off, and my body was producing its own version of wildfires and floods to get my attention. But I didn't listen. At least not until one day, 1 year after graduation, when I got admitted to the ICU with a really bad infection and a 50-50 shot at surviving. It was the first time in my life that I couldn't just push through my stress. Instead, laying stone still in a hospital bed with 12 tubes coming out of me and an oxygen mask strapped to my face, I had to learn how to actually manage it. And even though I had never been to yoga, meditated, or gone to therapy, somehow something inside me figured out how to use my breath, body, and brain to stay calm. And thank God it did, because I don't know if I'd be here to tell you this tale otherwise. Pause one more time. Where's your attention right now? Is it still here with me, or has it wandered? Bring it back to the room by focusing on one thing you can see or hear right now. For instance, that light is on. Notice how you feel. I'm excited to share with you what I learned from that experience in 3 simple frameworks that have helped me to take way better care of myself and the planet. The first one is called the 3 R's, and it's the umbrella that houses all the goals, which are to recognize, relieve, and reduce stress, whether it's yours or the planet's. Here's how it works. We as humans can recognize and relieve our stress by paying attention to the 3 B's, our breath, body, and brain. Just like the planet is always telling us how she's doing through changes in the climate, your body's always telling you how you're doing through changes in what you're thinking, feeling, and how you're breathing. Remember those exercises we just did? Well, they were opportunities for you to use your breath, body, and brain to recognize stress. And the tools we used afterwards were breath, body, and brain stress relievers. Pretty cool, huh? Here's my favorite part. It's the final R, reduce. If we really want to reduce climate change and burnout, we have to tackle them at their stress roots. And we do this by being a boss, which is an acronym that stands for boundaries, ownership, support, self-compassion, and the bonus S of service. Boundaries are permission for you to define success on your own terms, based on your values, and they honor the fact that limits and rest actually help you achieve success. Ownership is taking accountability for holding those boundaries and responsibility for the consequences when you don't. Support is about sharing our resources, giving help generously to others, and humbly receiving help in return. Self-compassion is the art of not beating yourself up while you're trying to figure out how to set boundaries, own them, and ask for support. And finally, service is the radical act of imagining a better existence for all of us, and then courageously showing up for it, even when it's hard and scary. Now let's be real. None of these things are nearly as hard nor complicated as reversing climate change. They are just as important, though. We can prevent climate breakdown if we're willing to stop going and going and going and start prioritizing our mental health like the essential climate solution that it is. Let's give the planet a chance to reset by first learning how to do that inside of ourselves. Thank you.